Alright, so looking at compartment 4 on the outside of Rescue 5 here, we'll start off with the Cascade. We have a Cascade with a 100-foot aerial that's mounted on the rig. I'm not going to go over Cascade use too much because that's something that driver operators have been trained in. If you'd like a refresher on it, please feel free to come and ask me. But we have our 100-foot aerial. We can charge that aerial and use air tools off of it, or we can fill cylinders using our Cascade. So the Cascade has 4 6,000 PSI tanks running across the frame rails. We have right here our fill hose, so this can be filled off of our compressor if the tanks are empty. So one thing to look for when doing rig checks is that each of these cylinders are above at least 5,800 PSI, so that we know that we have a lot of air on board. Up top here, we have the driver's air pack in the back and the RIP pack here. There's also a small tote of accessories, markers for our accountability boards, face piece cleaners, a headset for the driver so that the driver can plug their headset in here if they're going to be back here filling cylinders. So that's on the top shelf. On the second shelf here, we have some of our air tools that Todd talked about. And then we have our detection equipment. So we have 3 main boxes and bags here for detection equipment. Our first box here contains our Geiger counter with both our pancake probe and our scintillator probe. I'm not going to go over those too much. We all refresh on those with our Hazmat Ops refreshers, but these are calibrated periodically by Penn State, so they are always ready to be used, and that's the Geiger counter. Next thing we have here is our ultra radiacs. So all of our ultra radiacs do alpha, beta, and gamma. Then we also have some additional Ludlam meters here, some just for alpha, beta. If they have a screen in the back, they would be for alpha, beta, gamma. And if they don't have a screen, then they're just for gamma. Some of you may remember the old dosimeters that looked like little pens that we had. Those are no longer carried on here. The dosimeters that we now have are the ultra radiacs, of which we have 5 in here and 1 in the cab. So there's 6 on the Rescue. Finally, we have our colorimetrics bag. So in here we have pH paper. We have M8 and M9 paper for biological agents, chemical agents, caustic agents, and we have a laser range finder so we can find distances for hazmat calls, or could even be used for rope rescues, something where we need to get a distance from afar. So that's the colorimetrics bag. Now, getting a closer look here, we have 15 cylinders. We have 2 of these are 4,500 pound cylinders from our old air packs, so these cannot be used on our air packs. These are strictly for air tools. And then we have 13 5,500 pound cylinders. Along with those 13, we have 1 more on the driver's side, 2 on the officer's side, so we have 16 spare cylinders on here. We have an ABC extinguisher, a 2.5 gallon pressurized water can, and a CO2 extinguisher. While we're up here, let's get just a better look here at the Cascade. So a couple quick things to note about the Cascade. Again, I'm not going to go over full operation of it, but drivers understand how to operate the Cascade itself. If we want to use the aerial, we just need to open one of our bottles here, charge the aerial by turning this regulator. Regulate the aerial by turning this regulator, and then charge the aerial by opening this knob. You'll notice tape on the reel here, red, yellow, and green. The rollers here are actually offset from where the aerial is stored in the compartment above. So when reeling this in, we want to try to stay in this green and yellow area. If we get off into the red area too much, we risk jumping the track for the reel and winding this reel into the chain and sprocket up there. So be very careful of that. And that wraps up compartment 4 on Rescue 5.